A very wonderful and loving hello to all of you here for a new love oracle. And we're going to take a look at your special someone, your sweetheart, your counterpart, your desired partner. If he is currently in a relationship with someone else, or perhaps has ongoing contact, communication, or interaction with other people, or with someone else who keeps blocking your connection, for example, interfering in some way, we will look into that. Will the whole thing, the entire situation, come to an end? Is there going to be a cut? You might be asking yourself, yeah, is this ever going to end? Or is this just going to keep going on like this? Is there even still a chance? Will the whole thing come to an end? And that's what we're going to look at now. Dear ones, you know that we are tapping into the energy of the present moment, the most prominent energy that wants to show itself here for the collective. And in the collective, it's like this. A collective reading can't apply to everyone. And I know you take from it whatever resonates with you, whatever fits your situation, and you simply leave out everything else. You do that so wonderfully. And the character cards are gender neutral. You adapt them, whether male or female, to whatever fits you and your situation. And now I'm sending you all a big warm hug. You are all truly wonderful. I thank you so much every single day, because each and every one of you means so, so much to me. Thank you so much for your loyalty, for your comments, your warmth towards me, and also towards everyone else here in the collective. And now I would say, let's go. So let's take a look then. His or her current situation. Has the whole thing well ended? Great. All right, let's just do it this way. We'll spread. Good. So we're in the energy directed towards you. And what's being shown very clearly here is the heart. The heart, it indicates here that there is a heartfelt touch for him. Don't be alarmed right away, okay? We've only just started, here. It's about a heartfelt decision, a heartfelt touch, something that's occupying him. You can tell we're in the energy directed towards you. And there's something that keeps bringing up affection and this warmth in him, an affection for something and a heartfelt touch. What exactly is it? We'll get clarity on that in a moment. So, and then we also have the flowers. And here again, we see attention. And it's the same here, because there's something inside him or her that's occupying them, something to do with a surprise. Maybe it's also about a visit, that there's something here. A visit. Something here is a surprise. And to what extent the surprise will reveal itself, please take a look at this. It is absolutely fantastic. Now we also have the ring here again. So here, it's definitely about connections. So let me tell you very clearly, this is about connection. Whether you were already in a relationship or in a getting to know each other phase, right? Whether it's that he or she is in a relationship, has met someone else, or someone has repeatedly interfered between the two of you. That's what's currently on his mind. That's a connection that's already existed, right? Something new that's happened between you two, right? So something lasting. This, yes, even if he or she is in a relationship, if they were already in that relationship before you met, then the new thing is this connection with you. Here, it's very, very clearly about connections, because your counterpart also feels something that touches their heart, something about the connection, the affection, the attraction, the closeness. And it's like this. There's something inside him that's occupying his mind. Yes. Something that also has to do with an invitation, a surprise, something like that. In any case, there's harmony. And there's something beautiful about it. Maybe you even surprised him once, or visited him spontaneously. Maybe he rejected you in that situation, It could also be that it happened on a Thursday, because Thursday is also kind of indicated here. Let's see what else comes up. Maybe there was something, or you sent him a message or something like that. And then suddenly there was some kind of touch, right? And no, wait a second. I just noticed a small mistake here in my system. All right, let's do it this way. In any case, touch is a really, really big point. Heart, touching the heart, a heartfelt decision. And he is definitely occupied with himself. So here it's about the person himself, and it's also about stability, about this connection, about closeness, because something has been triggered in him here because he wants that. If he had no relationship with someone else, if he has that or the contact and so on, then he wouldn't be missing it. Then he wouldn't even be thinking about it because he would already have it. So there's something there. He's thinking about it because he doesn't have it. So we're definitely in the area where something is missing for him here. And maybe this is also about issues from the past, either for him or for her. The past, maybe the sense of duty and this, okay, he now somehow has to stay true to responsibility, to something, maybe to a commitment. And in any case, it's an issue from the past. But again, as I said, if he now had all of that, the relationship with someone else, the contacts with others, then he wouldn't be dealing with this at all. Then we wouldn't have this emotional touch here, something that surprise is happening inside him, something he also wants, and attraction. It's very strong. Then he wouldn't have that. And here it's clearly about relationships, about connections. And that's a really, really big issue for him or for her. And this is also about a partnership. Yes, so that also seems to be an issue. Here we have obligations again. We have the past, we have obligations, commitments that are being shown, yes. And here it's also the case that he's going around in circles a bit. Maybe he's been going around in circles the whole time. But now let's see what more we can uncover here. But here something is definitely coming to an end as well. And it could also be that this has always been the issue here, that he could never let go of these entanglements or connections, relationships, or rather, he was never able to let go the whole time. So let's take a look at what else is being shown here. I'll just lay these on top. We leave them there. I find these so beautiful. So, okay, then let's take a look. What else can we see here? Ah, yes. This is already off to a really good start. So he really has a huge problem here. I mean, your counterpart, connections, entanglements, definitely. I'm telling you with absolute certainty, this is about obligations, the past, anchors, the sense of responsibility. Trying to make up for something over and over and over again, he's definitely not doing badly. But I have to say, after this situation, he's feeling absolutely terrible. Whether he was in a relationship or connection with someone else, or is still in that connection. Yes, and even if he was in a relationship with someone before, that past relationship, in the relationship, that's really what left a significant mark on him. And his environment also has a very strong influence on him. That's just how it is. And that's exactly what's no longer good for him at all. Whether, as I said, he's currently in a connection with someone else, there is definitely, that's just outside. There's nothing there, no harmony, no sense of security. Absolutely nothing. So as you know, collectively, I always have to take a broader perspective here. Because on the one hand, as I said, yes, the relationship is indicated, okay, other people, definitely. Please adapt this for yourself. If you say, no, he's not in a relationship with anyone else, or that he's married, or something like that, then in any case, there are other people here who keep grabbing him, clinging to him, pulling him away, or controlling him or her. And this has been going on for a very long time. And it's always on repeat, always the same cycle, over and over again. So, and then that's exactly the point where he himself has come to a complete standstill. Because he no longer even knows where he truly belongs. And with him, I see it's like he's withdrawn into himself. I sense he's totally tense, withdrawn, distant, lonely. And this loneliness is because he also realizes that, in fact, he doesn't have any support from anyone or anything. He or she definitely lacks support, connection, closeness, and affection. And that's what occupies him very intensely. And he's actually really worried about the connection, about whether he'll ever be lucky in that regard, whether he'll ever be lucky at all. And that's what suddenly comes in here now. Suddenly, unexpectedly, bam, it's there. It can be just a moment. And I also say, because we saw the surprise at the beginning, that he also heard something that completely surprised him, right? It was like boom, right? It comes in with a bang. Because something really has come up here. If there's a relationship with someone else, as I said, man or woman, right? In a relationship, something has also come up here, namely that this person is still involved with someone else, that someone else is still hanging around. Or also that something happened there, something from the past is coming up that is really opening his eyes now, something he didn't want to see all this time. Then if we're now talking about other people in his environment, that could be mother, father, sister, brother, uncle, aunt, whatever, all sorts of people, friends, right? It's the same there. I actually see nothing but lies, deceit, intrigue in his entire environment, and I sense fear as well. Always in favor of the others, never in favor of your counterpart. This is a really big issue here. He keeps getting sweet talked over and over again, and he keeps letting himself get caught, and bam, everything's fine, it's all good. Because I see him the way he showed himself to you. And this, yeah, I'm here, I'm confident, and so on. He's not like that at all. When I look at this area, I actually see him as someone who is constantly being pushed down and made to feel small. He's being played with, and his psyche, I see it as being really, really badly affected here. Because I feel the entire weight, the burden is on him. In some ways, it's truly torture for him in the situation he's in. And it's like this, he's not doing well because he's already starting to feel it physically. Emotionally and physically, I see a complete burden on him here. It's making him sick. And what I can't say to you here is, yes, we have absolute joy in life. Yes, he's doing well. Hey, pure happiness. No, not at all. If you two are in contact, you might notice that, where you think, phew, he actually seems to be doing well, right? But take a look into his eyes. Look into his eyes. Because when you look into his eyes, you'll see exactly what's really going on inside, that he's sad. It could also be that he looks away, that he can't even look you in the eyes. Or if you two are texting or talking on the phone, you'll feel it too, because you have a lot of empathy and you sense a lot. You are very sensitive. And you'll also strongly notice his energy. It could also be that you're actually feeling really good at the moment. Hey, great, everything's fine. And in the next moment, from one second to the next, you're suddenly really sad. You're sad, you're like, you don't know what to do anymore. It could also be that you get a bit tense, irritable, and you ask yourself, whoa, what's going on now? When you're usually the calmest person. You don't know why, because there hasn't been any trigger. The trigger is the other person, because that's your situation, what you're feeling. You feel the sorrow, you feel the pain and this pressure. This feeling of being drained, burned out, there's nothing left at all. I sense a very strong loss of energy in your loved one. And as I said, physically, I also sense some limitations in some of them, that he is simply in very poor health because he really isn't doing well. And that's accurate. It's really true that he is in this phase. I know this sounds harsh, but according to this reading, when I look at it like this, it's actually right, because it brings him to this point, and this is exactly where he is now, that he finally dares to take a step. Because here I already see the change, since the thoughts he is afraid of keep coming up. It's actually a thought that frightens him. Change. I have to change something. I can't go on like this. I just can't anymore. I don't want to anymore. And now we've reached a very, very, very important point. And that's exactly the connection, because that's what he's missing. As I said, I found him lonely with no support. There's nothing there, because he also has this area that he never wanted to see or never needed, something he convinced himself of. He talks himself into a lot of things anyway, or has done so all this time. He let himself be talked into a lot, let himself be manipulated. No matter, as I said, whether it's other people or relationships, woman, man, whatever, right? And what he kept letting himself be talked into, what he didn't want to see, that's what he's realizing now. That's what's opening his eyes now, that he's missing that, the support, being held in someone's arms once in a while. Also being allowed to be soft sometimes, really, not always. Hey, I'm fine. No, everything's fine. Yeah, I'll do it. No problem. And that's the point. He just can't do it anymore either. And that's exactly it. That's what's missing for him now. And with him really in your direction, I feel this heartache and also this very strong longing, the longing for closeness, for connection, because you radiate warmth, kindness, and a sense of security. And that's what we saw at the beginning. Now we're seeing it again here. You radiate that, and there's a very strong attraction, always again and again towards you. Again and again, the connection. Because yes, what we have here with the where is it, there. With the heart, we also have here a very intense, strong heart connection between the two of you. And now he is finally feeling his heart very intensely. And you are both getting more and more into it, even if it starts slowly, but the heart connection keeps getting bigger and bigger. And then comes the heartache, the longing, the sorrow, because it hurts him, because he is suffering. And now you say to yourself, okay, well, let him feel the way I did for once. I was the one suffering all this time. And it could also be that you have distanced yourself from him or her. I actually think that's very good after this reading, if you did that. Absolutely. Because that's exactly it. You withdrew your energy from him. And this withdrawal, which he experienced, made him wake up because you took your energy away from him. You took away the warmth from him. He always relied on that, because as long as you're there, everything's fine, back and forth. So really top notch there. And now, of course, we're at the question, will the whole thing come to an end? Some of you may have already noticed this. I'm telling you here that there will be a cut, as certain as amen in church, after this collective reading. I definitely see the cut here, the break, and it will happen quickly. Really, really fast. Maybe it's just a word or a phone call or something that the other person says out there. That's when he just blows his top. At that point, honestly, fireworks are nothing compared to this, the king, because there's absolutely an explosion risk here. I think that's good too, because it will definitely explode, because I really have him there when you say he's totally calm or something like that, right? So here I have something completely different going on, There's nothing calm here because I have a radical change. I have here a complete cut, really, and very radically, without regard for losses. He will make a cut here because I also see a change at home. So, for example, if he lives with someone or with family or somewhere else, it doesn't matter where, I also see a move here that he's leaving, packing his things and then bam, gone. Or that someone throws him out, depending on the situation, right? But actually, I see it more as him or her leaving on their own. But as we know, collectively, I keep repeating myself over and over. But regarding the decision, he won't let others decide for him anymore. Instead, he or she will now make the decision themselves. And the decision has already been made. It's really that certain because he's leaving. He wants the whole thing. He wants she's going to put the past, all of it behind him. Everything that has still kept him tied to the past, the behavioral patterns, entanglements, obligations, he's not really thinking about it anymore. And it's actually very good that he's not thinking about it. From this brief reaction, he also makes this cut here, and that's how it stays. Because of course, you might say, well, a brief reaction, if he makes a cut, maybe he'll regret it, right? No, right? I don't see that in this reading because I have him here as being surprised. Really, it's the surprising feeling. Phew, I feel good. I am so relieved. Where he actually startles himself, where he's startled by himself, because this relief that he feels, and that does him good because he knows you are in his heart. He or she knows that, and that's what he's missing. He knows that with you, he can have consistency, stability, can have everything with you. And he didn't want to see that, didn't see it, couldn't see it, because this monster's ink in his environment kept clinging to him, right? All those tentacles kept grabbing, wrapping around, slithering around him, and kept pulling him away. Like guards, boom, always on him again and again. And he can barely breathe anymore, the way I see him lying here. So, as I said, after this reading here, there will definitely be a clear cut. There will be an ending here. And yes, now we have the snake. Let's see. I'll also look at the timing tendency in a moment. We have the snake. So entanglements, right? We have entanglements here with other people, obligations over and over again. Here, arrival, a relationship, with another woman. So if it's about another person for him, it's a complicated path for him, but he will take this path. And when I look at his thoughts, they're not really loving anymore. So, or that I would say, okay, something warm, understanding. No, they're heading in a different direction here. But I don't want to elaborate further on which direction that is. Yeah, but it has nothing to do with you. Very, very, very important. Nothing to do with you. Absolutely not. But this here is definitely coming to an end. For sure. And yes, as I said, there is still a bit of restlessness showing up here. A few entanglements, a little bit of a delay, some back and forth, but don't be alarmed. We'll take another look at the timing in a moment. We're talking about the collective here. I just want to mention that again regarding timing, tendencies, and so on. And here's the thing. We also have the book here, and the book shows that a secret is really going to be revealed. And even if it's not quite ready to be announced yet, a chapter will definitely be closed. And that's a secret. What's going on here? He or she or counterpart is keeping it a secret, right? That's because he has his own plan. As I said, his thoughts, It doesn't end up going according to his plan, the way he actually wanted. Because as I said, we have a brief reaction here, right? I think that's absolutely right too, because then the pot boils over, so everything explodes here, right? A big explosion, I would say. And even if he's still closing himself off a bit, it's really no problem, towards you. That's what you don't notice at all in the background from him or her. I always say every card reading is a look behind the scenes because we see what's really going on inside that person. On the outside, you don't see what's going on back there, especially what's happening inside him, what's going on, what's taking place. And I'd also like to touch on Thursday again, which we have as a time tendency. And on Thursday, again, as I said, something is happening. Thursday, Friday, maybe something around the weekend, something here that triggers him, something that makes the whole pot explode, makes everything overflow, and so on. And so really something is happening. Something is coming to an end. That is for sure. And we have the tree, which is about stability, because he or she wants stability. Definitely. Because that's what he's missing. Because there's no support, there's nothing left at all. He's actually lost. He doesn't really know where to go himself. He's drifting here in the open sea. And so, as I said, something is happening. It could also be that you notice this maybe towards the weekend, like Thursday, Friday, something like that. That's quite possible. But if you notice something on those days, you might remember this reading. Hey, Thursday or Friday was mentioned back then. That's right, isn't it? It happened. So I'm telling you here, and it really, really happens quickly, So in terms of the tendency, I'd say here about 1 to 3, let's say days, weeks, up to months, roughly, when I look at the whole thing. Okay. So my dears, I thank each and every one of you all so very much from the very bottom of my heart for watching and wish you a truly wonderfully beautiful rest of your day. Goodbye.